Yippee-ki-yay, melon farmer. Welcome back, knife nerds and everyday care people. It's your boy, the Big Canucker, and I am back, big and brown. I got myself a little bit of a tan. More red than brown. Back from Mexico, had a wonderful time, and got myself in trouble with the sun. You can't tell by these hands, but I have got, some would say, fish belly white chest, and it even with, like, I'm talking like 50 FPS or whatever the heck it was, applied liberally every 30 minutes, I got my butt burned hardcore. But I'm back. Want to have a look at something here today. And the other thing that I kind of screwed up on, I'm going to tell you that because you guys know that I want to take myself a couple of blades to EDC out in Mexico. I'll just give you an idea about that. And I ended up taking this here, this little Ganzo, I think it was called the FH22. And it was, I had an okay time carrying this. It was good. It was really, really good to have myself a pocket knife in Mexico. I really, really enjoyed it. But I got to say that I kind of screwed up because I have this like this in this Maxpedition EDC pouch, which I'm going to be doing a review on here. But I had a whole bunch of cords and stuff inside here, a bunch of travel stuff, and I put this inside there. And on the way out there, this was inside my regular suitcase. On the way home, I am not a very good traveler. I get really kind of nervous about airplanes, and I take myself these little tiny white pills that you put under your tongue, and it helps me kind of relax. And I ended up taking some extra one of those because I was wicked nervous for some reason. And this ended up going in my carry-on, and unbeknownst to me, and when I got home, I was unpacking my suitcase like the next day, and I'm like, where the heck is my Maxpedition pouch? I checked my suitcase when I got home. Now, I don't put a lock on my suitcase because if they want to get in, they're going to break it. If they see something they don't like, I'd rather not have a broken lock or a broken zipper. So I always zip tie them closed. The zip tie keeps them out of it. If somebody's got some bad intentions, it's easier to pick on somebody else's bag. But if they really want to get into it, it's breaking a zip tie. None of the zippers gets broken. So my zip tie was perfect when I got home, so I didn't know where the heck this went. And then I was going through my carry-on bag, and I saw it in there, and I thought, oh my goodness, I had a pocket knife on the plane. Now, I could have been, so that would have got thrown away, and I would have ended up getting a little bit of trouble for it. But nobody noticed. It went through the x-ray machine. It was in my carry-on with a whole bunch of other stuff, and you know what? Looks like the big guy was smiling on me for that one. Never had an issue with it. Nobody. There was one vendor. I pulled it out of my pocket. I cut a thread or something like that. He gave me a little bit of an eyeball about it, but other than that, it was okay, except for the carry-on. Oh my goodness! All right, so let's have a look at what we're having a look at today. It is this beauty right here. This happens to be the Custom Knife Factory Blava, and I gotta say that I really, really dig this knife. Now, it is not normally kind of my 100% my style. I'm not in love with like the big sweeping blades on it, but I just love the way this looked. I love this really kind of internally milled pocket, and I've got a CKF Evo that I really, really like. It's a little too heavy to be my kind of everyday carry, but I like putting it in my pocket once in a while because it is just so beautiful. And the design on this here, I think, is just as beautiful too. Now, let's kind of go over some of the specs, and then I'll kind of give you an idea of the whole thing. Just as far as size-wise, what we'll do here is we'll have a look at a knife that is probably just a bit smaller, which, as you can see here, this happens to be the Paramilitary 2. This is the Crucarda, my Joker edition that I took the micarta and I dyed it purple. And let's go with the knife that's a little bit bigger and shaped very similar blade. This one happens to be the Spyderco K2, which this is a big, heavy, chunky knife that I really, really like. And as you can tell, anybody who Hawkeye owners out there who have a K2, I had mine specially milled to carry mine tip up because I hate big knives tip down. That's my thing. So I'm going to probably look at getting my buddies to mill me a little plate there, and then I'll set it inside there with a little bit of a screw just to kind of finish it off. And you can see that I patinaed it, but I really like this Spyderco K2, and it has that real kind of upswept blade, although this one here has got a lot less of the flats. And that is something that I think is a tiny bit of a knock on this knife. But I mean, there are so many other things that make up for that. I am not worried about that at all, because I'm not going to take this knife and turn it into a crazy EDC knife. Like, as far as, I'm not EDC, but like a work knife, I'm not going to go cut carpet with this thing, or go to a construction site and bash the hell out of it. That's not what I think this knife is for. I think it could handle it. I mean, it's got some great features on it, and it's really, really slicey, and I really, really like it that way. But it's not quite a safe queen, but it's something that I want to keep a little bit protected at least. So let's go over this. So the overall length here is 8.45 inches. It is a big, big hunk of titanium and M398 steel. It's not the M390. It is titanium. The other thing is a 3.68 inch blade. So it is almost 3 3/4. I like the big, big knives. You know what? For some reason, anything that's under 3.25 doesn't carry my pocket a whole bunch. And I don't know why. I mean, it should, but hey, to each their own. What else here we got here? We've got, it's 4.8 ounces, so it is, for such a big knife, it carries extremely, extremely well. When I put this in my pocket, I mean, it's not giving me saggy jeans at all. And when I take it out of my pocket and I want to do some cutting, it brings a smile to my face every time I open this up. It's got, not guillotine, cut your finger, drop shut, tiny, tiny bit of a shake, and it just drops right in there. It is so beautifully made. Now, this is actually a knife that is made in China, and there's kind of different things out there on the internet where it's actually built, whether it's parts are made in China and then it's assembled in Russia, or it's all assembled in China, or it's at the Riat company does it, or the Kevin St. John company. But I do have to say, wherever it is made extremely well. The fit and finish on this knife was gorgeous. The centering was perfect. Oh, it is absolutely beautiful all the way around. I never noticed any mistake. Now, I ended up buying this kind of pre-owned, but you can get this in a couple of different spots. If you want to get yourselves a Blava in Canada, you can go to a place called Bladezilla. I'm going to leave a link in the description. They're about $7.95 in Canada, but if you want to go to in the States, there are at different makers, but NC Knives has got them too as well, or NC Blade. I'll leave a link there too as well, and they're $4.50. And I gotta say, man, if you're going to spend $500 on a knife, this is one to do it on, because it is absolutely gorgeous. It's got a beautiful little zerk collar inside there. It's got this kind of inlaid milled pattern here that is kind of anodized a little bit lighter blue. And then, of course, it's got a really, really utilitarian titanium gray. And then it's got it says a stone washed blade, or a washed blade. That's the only thing that I got to say about this blade, is it's a little bit of a kind of a fingerprint magnet. As you can see here, it's a nice big wide blade coming in at a little over an inch. And there is a little bit of a flat spot here, but other than that, it's beautifully swept. This is not going to be your crazy, kind of, I'd say kind of piercing knife. You're not going to jam this through like a car door or anything like that, but it does have some piercing ability. It is extremely sharp. The one thing I got to say though, is when I tried to sharpen this using my, I have a KME system. I've also got kind of a, some work sharps tools out there, but I've got the work sharp precision adjust, like the top end one, and it didn't seem to want to fit in that blade really well. It just, it's kind of tapers down here, and just the way it locked in, I wanted to kind of either lock it in over here, so you could kind of keep this bevel completely even. Sometimes, let's just see, when you're sharpening one of these kind of curved knives, what you want to do is draw an imaginary line between there and the tip, right? And you follow that, and you want to kind of try to lock it in like that, where it's right in the center, and then you've got it completely around. But this one being kind of a wide blade, it looks like it would kind of go a little bit thin, thicken out here, and then thin out there. And I was just trying to keep this completely even along the entire way, and I was having some problem the way it was clamped, and it was just a little tiny bit wiggly. So I didn't get this as sharp as I wanted to, but it is still extremely sharp. I like mine kind of crazy sticky sharp, and this is just kind of sticky sharp, not crazy sticky sharp. So I am going to work on that. That's one knock I got to say, is it's a little bit hard to sharpen, and I think the M398 too as well. Now they don't say what the Rockwell hardness is on this, but it was. I'm going to have to say this is probably a very hard blade material, because it took my diamonds a bit to get myself a little bit of a burr on there, and I have to say that it's probably I'm not going to guess on what the Rockwell is. If somebody knows, put it inside the comments there, but I'm going to say this is kind of hard. And now the M398, I do believe the biggest benefit over M390 is the fact that it's got a lot more wear retention, especially in the higher Rockwells. And then you don't have the chippiness. So I've never noticed any kind of chippiness with this whatsoever. And I haven't beat the heck out of this, but it's gone through some cardboard. It's opened up some packages. There's been a tiny bit of lateral movement when I have used it, and there's been no chipping whatsoever. And there was no chipping when I sharpened it. Sometimes you can feel that little bit of a kind of a brittleness. I didn't feel that at all with this whatsoever. It is a front flipper, and it also a thumb stud flipper. Now the front flipping action on this is fantastic. I got to say that front flippers for me are not the most intuitive way for me to flip. And when I first put this in my hand and I opened it opened up, bang, it snapped right open. So they got the detent dialed right in. It opened up for me extremely well. And then I also never had to use the pad of my thumb. I always use my the nail of my thumb to open it up, and it's perfect for that. It just snaps wide open, super fast. I'm so impressed with the detent on this, as well as the drop shot attitude. It's a knife that it's got high fidget factor. I really like it, and I would have to say that if you're looking for one, you're not going to be disappointed in something like this. All right, so hope you guys enjoyed having a look at this this beautifully crafted custom knife factory Blava with the titanium in the blue. You've also, I forgot to mention, you got some blue standoffs. It is complete pass-through. It is a frame lock with the lock bar insert, and don't forget you've got yourself a little tiny zerk. I'm going to guess that these are probably a T8 on there. I should have a look at this actually, because I haven't done no maintenance on this. This came to me and it was extremely well put together, and all I've done is drip a tiny bit of KPL in here, and it's smooth, so smooth. I'm going to guess this is also running on bearings too as well, because it is beautifully drop shot. Man, oh man, I'm really digging this knife. I wish I could find some stuff here, which I can't. Oh, here we go. Let's before we do that, let's quickly find out if these are 8mm, and we're going to be using some Weir bits from. Ta-da! That's coming for review here pretty soon. Absolutely love this. This custom made. Let's just see here. So what do we got here? We have got the Bad Eyes. We got a T8. Let's just see if the T8 fits in there. Yes, it is some T8 hardware. The thumb studs are, right here, T8, and I'm going to guess the thumb studs are T6. No, T8 as well. Oh, the thumb studs are T8. So it looks like you've got T8 hardware all the way around. Even the... oh, geez. You've got T8. Everything's T8 on here. How about that? That is really, I really like that. So I am going to take this apart and do a little bit of maintenance on it, because it has been in my pocket for a bit. I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. This here is a custom-made bit driver that I'm going to be talking about here in my next video, because I have been using this and I have been loving it. A little bit of a sneak preview. Let's have a look here. This is a Canadian made from a fella out in Quesnel, BC, and we'll be going over that in the next video. But I gotta say here, man, if you want yourself a beautiful front flipper, titanium from Custom Knife Factory, you can't go wrong with the Blava. I think this is going to be kind of one of my permanent knives. There are knives that I bring in, there's knives that I sell, because got to keep the channel going, but I think this one is going to be a permanent one, and it's going to be in my pocket today. So thanks so much, you guys. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share. It'll help me spread my voice. I appreciate it so much. Please, please stay safe out there. Keep your stick on the ice, the shiny side up. This is the Big Canucker saying adios.